Juliet, over.
Maybe we will, sir. What's the name there?
The name is Ernie. Ernie is the name, and I think your name is Jim.
That's correct, Ernie. And what's your location, sir?
I'm located in Mays Landing, New Jersey. I'm about a 15-minute car ride from Atlantic City.
Roger that. And what kind of radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running the ICOM 7300, and I've been listening to you, Jim, and
Ernie, I think you hit your VFO. I think you may have hit your VFO. We're on 7188, sir.
Yeah, my finger hit the on button here that sends it down. I'm sorry about that, Jim.
Yes, sir, it happens. I usually try to run my radio on lock. If you have a lock feature on your frequency VFO, I would engage that lock feature, and that way, even if you hit it, it's not going anywhere, Roger.
Roger on that. I did hit the lock feature, but it still does it. I don't know what I have to do to, because I have it locked. It's right now locked, but I tried the button, and the button overrides the lock for some reason.
That's very strange. I wouldn't think anything but unlocking that lock button would work, you know. Seems like it's a sometimes maybe lock, Roger.
Yeah, that's true, because I just did it again, and sure enough, it overrides the lock. It could be the way this mic was wired. It's the SM20 mic, and it's a good mic and everything. But I thought I would go ahead and move everything the way that you were telling the people. Even a couple weeks ago, I listened to you. And when I first...
Stand by, please.
Because this radio is brand new to me anyway.
Roger, Ernie. Well, it takes a while to get used to a radio. Our tune-up procedure is very generic. It's not very specific as far as radio transmitters are concerned, and that's what we wanted, was a very generic setup, so everybody could do it regardless of what radio that they're running, and that regards is the compressor at about a 3, a third of its percent capability, 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100, and then move to that ALC and set your ALC from mid-scale to 2/3 with your mic gain. That will bring you probably up to about a 3 dB dynamic range with an average percent of peak modulation somewhere around 80 to 85%. Roger?
Oh, Roger on that there, Jim. Yeah, you know something, that works out. Actually, I'm looking at my meter here and trying to get a good eyeball on everything and how it's moving. And you are right. I'm at about 85%.
Roger, it's a rule of, roughly 80 to 85% when you have a 3 dB dynamic range. If you stop to consider things about what dynamic range means, dynamic range is the difference between the softest part of your speech and the loudest part of your speech. We call that the dynamic range. Normally, unprocessed dynamic range of the human voice is roughly a 10 dB dynamic range. So for radio, what we want to do is collapse that dynamic range to about 3 dB, and we do that through the compressor and the limiter. And so then when we reduce a 10 dB dynamic range unprocessed to a 3 dB dynamic range, then we effectively have doubled the loudness, perceptive loudness of the station, and running about 80 to 85% average peak modulation.
The best modulation I can. I'm not going to say it's perfect. but I'm going to say it's pretty doggone close. Back to you.
Roger. Well, I tell you, like I say, your ALC is the Bible. ALC reading is the Bible for that transmitter. And it will tell you better what's going on than your buddy down the street, because it knows, it can see what's going on, and it will tell you if you look at that ALC and it wants to be reading mid-scale to 2/3. And if you bring your mic gain up and just speak normally, and as you speak, just bring that mic gain up to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3, that's the best that radio is going to sound. Roger?
Roger on that. And right now, I'm looking at my mic gain. My mic gain may be just a wee bit high here, Jim. I'm going to turn my mic gain down some and then recheck my ALC again here. I'm going to do it right now. Let's see how this works out. Okay. Let's see, 3/4. I have to do one thing. I've got to unlock my transceiver since I locked it up. Here we go. I think I got it. Let's see. I've still got to unlock this thing. There we go. Okay. Now we're going back to the mic gain.
Ernie, gosh, buddy, I don't know what to tell you, sir. I think you've hit your VFO again. Ernie, Jim to Ernie, I think you've hit the VFO again. Jim to Ernie, do you copy?
Yeah, I am turning. Ooh, that's really close. Right.
Jim to Ernie, do you copy?
3/4. That looks to be very good there, Jim. How about you?
Yeah, Ernie, listen, you can't, the ALC does not have a separate volume control. Your mic gain is your volume control, is your control for your ALC. You can't turn your mic down and then somehow magically turn your ALC up. Your mic gain controls what your ALC is reading. You bring your mic gain up to where your ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3, and then you leave the mic gain alone. Roger?
Roger on that. Roger on that. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Maybe put that right about where I had it. Look, right there, 70. It's about 3/4. There we go. Okay. I'm back to where I was. I'm a little lower than I was, but I understand now. My ALC is controlled by the mic gain 100%, and my compression is still the same.
Roger, that's right. Your mic gain controls your ALC reading. So once you get that, unless you do something else, you can just leave that alone, and it doesn't matter what your mic gain itself says. It's only as regards to the mic gain as regards to your ALC meter. I mean, your actual physical reading of the mic gain can be 10, 20, 30, 70, 80, 100. It doesn't matter as long as the mic gain is making the ALC meter read mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger. And I am reading mid-scale to 2/3. And that's where I'm at. I haven't changed my voice. Distance away from my mic, which is about 3 inches, and I'm cross-talking the mic over.
Roger. Sounds pretty good there, sir. And your signal did come up just a little bit. Tell me about your antenna system. We might get into EQ if we hurry. Tell me about 10 seconds about your antenna.
I'm running it in. It's an Alpha Delta DX by the way, and I'm running the antenna at about 50 feet in height on the apex of it, and the legs are coming out to about 12 feet above the ground. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, I will hang on the EQ. I don't have that good a signal on you right now to get involved with the EQ, but maybe next Thursday you can give us another shot between 3:30 and 5, and we'll have a little bit better conditions that we can work on the EQ. Roger? Sounds pretty good now, but we could probably touch it up next Thursday. Roger?
Oh, that sounds good, Jim. And I will be here next Thursday at 3:30. I think it's 3:30 you start at. I think you go 3:30 to 5. But I appreciate the time you've taken with me. I have learned a lot from listening to you. And I think others out there that want to know about their radio, you really give us an education. You have given me one for sure. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. Well, thank you very much, sir. We just try to do what we can do to help our group along. You know, everybody needs help. Some are just coming in that need help, and that's the whole idea about the amateur radio Elmer system. Ham radio Elmers are just tremendously beneficial to help the newcomers coming along because it's a lot to think about, and particularly with today's newer radios. You know, they're so much more complicated than in the past. So, you know, as much knowledge as Elmers can give to the younger folks, the better off our hobby will be. Roger.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that 100%. For sure. Like I'm used to, I have a TS-2000 here that I have had for 14 years, and I've never beat it up. I've never taken and pushed it to its max. I don't do that. And I have an amplifier, and I use the amplifier when I want to, but other than that, I can put this TS-2000 on and talk across the water with ease, and on 100 watts, and I do very well with that. With my little Alpha Delta antenna, it works quite well, but I do have another antenna I'm putting up, and that's an 80-meter off-center dipole that I built. I checked it with an analyzer. I stretched it out here across the backyard. It was only probably 15 feet off the ground, but I checked all bands, and the only band that I could see that would be a problem and I would need the tuner for was 80 meters itself. But 40 meters was almost flat, 1.1, 1.2, and 20 meters was very good, almost flat itself. But this antenna, I've trimmed it and done everything I could to get it as close as I could to 7.150, and that's where I thought it would be the best to take and have it come in there. But you may have a comment on that, I hope, anyway. Back to you.
The comment I would have, Ernie, is if you tell me, do you have a power amplifier sitting right there?
Yes, I do.
And you haven't had it on?
It is not, the amplifier is not in line with this IC 7300.
Ernie, we've been struggling for 20 minutes. I could have, done this thing 10 minutes ago if I'd had a decent signal on you, buddy. You know, gosh, I sure, whenever, well, sometimes it's a good idea to put the amplifier in line and turn it on.
Okay, I didn't do that. I want to take and hook the IC 7300 to the amplifier. It's the AL811H, and I need to get my cables out and redo this one, and then go in on the menu and turn it to break-in. I don't have the break-in part of it put in yet, but I can do that later on tonight and I'm going to, because I think you would like me to have the amplifier running or hooked up with if I call in next Thursday. Over.
That's a Roger, yes, because we want you to put your best foot forward, and if you've got a couple of 100, 400 watts or 800 watts, 600 watts to make that foot look better, put that sucker on, Jack, because we sometimes need all the help we can get. And particularly when I'm trying to evaluate your audio curve, the cleaner I can hear it, the better off. And the other thing is we are recording, have been recording since 3:30, and we will be recording till 5. So if the better, the more power that you happen to be running, the cleaner your audio signal is going to be when you get to check it on YouTube later on. Right now you've been fighting noise for the last 20 or 30 minutes. That power amp would certainly be headed in the right direction as far as a cleaner signal. Roger.
If I had the amp in line, you would be hearing me much, much better, because I'd be running around 650 watts. But I'm going to do that this next Thursday. I'll have this amp in line, and if I can get in there and you can copy me, I'll sure have it in line, and we can go from there. I know then you'll do a better evaluation on me.
Roger that, Ernie. Let me just give you an example here. Let me dump off the box. Hello, Chess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is 100 watts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So give you some idea what's happening there. And then we're back to the KW. Roger, you tell a difference there? Gosh, you're slipping under my noise level. Let me back, Ernie, one more thing before you take off. Give me your call sign again, slowly, phonetically, Roger.
Yes, I will. It is
Somebody was not nice, and they were tuning up all over you. Try it one more time, please.
Kilo 6, Kilo Papa, Juliet, over.
I got you that time, Ernie. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And like I say, we'll be posting this air check up in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search, KC9VKV. That will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And you'll be looking for My Group Air Check 21420. My Group Air Check 21420. Roger?
My Group Air Check 21420. That's My Group Air Check. Air Check 21420. Over.
Roger, 21420. Today's date, 21420. Roger?
Roger on that, Jim. 100%. Thank you.
Roger, Ernie, 3Z sir, and we'll catch you next Thursday. Tomorrow, next week's broadcast will be on Thursday afternoon instead of a regular Friday afternoon because of a prior commitment. So if you're looking next Friday, we won't be there. Plan to see us a day earlier, next Thursday afternoon, not Friday. Thursday afternoon, 3:30 Eastern. See you there, or here, or wherever. This is KC9VKV and the today, Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And in 2 weeks, we'll be back to our regular Friday afternoon. But next week will be on Thursday. Anyway, this is KC9VKV, Qso-Vlog net listening.